You get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. And I've always said, you know what, democracy is overrated, man. Democracy is overrated. I mean, I know it's the best thing that we have, but sometimes certain decisions needs to be taken away from the people, and you just need to be given the right dude. Boris Johnson, first of all, can't come and say. Let's actually start there. You want me to take a guy seriously who can't come and say and can't present himself? I don't know whether it's a privilege thing or something, but if you're a president and you're on a national stage or even a global stage, you have to look presentable. And this guy's hair is going all over the way and everything. Because, see, I know sometimes it can be a style for some white people to sort of like move their hair around. Because when I went to school, I know some white people have some hair like that, and they style it. But his it's not even styled. It just looks like a mess. So I'm like, what's that supposed to be? I'd be like, oh no, 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 I am above that because I'm cool. No, 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 that's crazy. So let's just start there. You can't comb your hair, and I can't take a man seriously who does not present himself, specifically when he's supposed to be a leader. So yeah, people forget that Boris Johnson wanted head immunity. Yeah, yeah, back then. So because remember, England could have actually been in a better position if they had followed like a Germany or whatsoever and be like, you know, oh, this thing's happening. All right, lockdown, track and trace, boom. But for that few weeks, head immunity, knowing how London is one of the busiest cities in the world, one of the most congested cities in the world, and knowing how many freaking people use the freaking tube. So, but that was Boris Johnson, and then he then realized, oh yeah, we need to lock down. But he had already got the ball rolling of this being out of control by having a freaking head immunity. That's the first time this guy messed up. Then I look at this whole thing with schools. You see, like I'm a man of logic, and all I need is just logic, just things to make logical sense. So, tier four lockdown, everybody's isolated, but you say schools are safe. Make it make sense. Make it make sense because I understand the whole thing about how you don't want people to be left behind, and then the further away students are away from school, it's going to be difficult to really get back into the whole educational thing and everything. I get that, but you have to give us something more because teachers unions have even said that. Wait a minute, no, 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 schools are not safe. So even if, let's say, kids are not going to get ill, it's a virus. It's about you passing it on to this person, this person, this person, and then giving it to this person who's now susceptible, and then you're then screwed. So unless you want kids to go to the school and the teachers to be aware, and then the kids now be isolated, it doesn't make any sense. And my thing about this is that this isn't 1920, this isn't 1982, this is 2021. And in 2021, there is a thing called Zoom. There is a thing called Zoom. So you see, the difficulty are exams. Now that's a difficult thing to now get around and so forth to go through exams because how can you do an online exam and ensure that nobody is cheating if you're doing the exam from home? It's going to be hard. But with regards to taking classes, oh my god, I mean, it is what it is. So it may be a thing of where for people's exams it may just have to be like coursework. It may have to be coursework because I don't know how you're going to get around the whole thing. But my thing is, why can't people do something like how are schools safe if we're on a tier four, potentially going into tougher restrictions, potentially going to a tier five? Because for teachers who some of them may be asthmatic, some of them may have conditions that mean that this is difficult for them. For those teachers, they'll be like, whoa, man, if one of these kids have this whole virus thing and I'm in there and so forth. And remember, social distancing just does not naturally work because see, that's all. If social distancing works and so forth, we wouldn't be in a whole tier four thing now. Then people would say, okay, no, you can go out for social distance. So the fact that the cases are still going crazy, even through a lockdown, the cases are still rising, means that all right, we're dealing with something effed up right now. And you just need to just get everybody fully isolated, locked down, fully away, and move through. Because see, in theory, a lockdown should actually work. But the reason why it hasn't worked is nobody really listens to the lockdown. And that's all because to get every because remember, this is something that's Nobody has ever done this before, ever in the history, where, okay, everybody in this entire country stay at home, don't leave your house. Is every single person going to listen to that? Is everybody going to listen to that 24/7? So, because in theory, if you just say, okay, everybody, if everybody stayed at home for like 2 weeks, no one left, everyone stayed in their home. If they went out, they mentioned that they were not near anyone or so forth. The numbers will just naturally go down because the virus spreads by you getting in proximity with someone. So I don't think the whole thing is about social distance. Just if you're in with regards to proximity, you cough, you talk, a few particles, a place that you brush, you just because it's very simple. Because these are particles. You're dealing with mini, little particles. So just without even thinking, you just wipe your hand across your nose, something that's boom, it's in you now, based on just something that touched without even knowing. So, but you have to understand that Boris is a brick. And this even goes back to the whole Brexit thing, because Brexit was a lie. They sold people a lie. Because people forget this is that you realize that the UK still kept the pound. Like the UK had all the benefits of being in Europe and none of the drawbacks. So whatever happened to the euro, the UK would never fall victim to that because they still held on to the pound. But you still gained the advantage of trade routes within Europe and a lot of businesses that actually benefited from doing business with Europe and so forth. But Boris and his cohorts, Nigel Farage and so forth, sold people a lie that, oh no, England is Great Britain, they don't need Europe, Europe is bringing down England, England can be better off by themselves, Europe, which was just a complete lie. Because say all you want about David Cameron. Say all you want about David Cameron, how this or that, David Cameron ain't stupid. Boris Johnson is stupid. He is an idiot. David Cameron isn't stupid. Say what you want about him. He messed up even freaking holding a referendum because that just showed bad leadership because he should have, David Cameron should have known how stupid people are. I know that, nah, I can't give these morons a referendum. I am smarter than them. Let me lead. Because a leader knows when, yeah, my people are morons. I need them to lead. So that's where he messed up. But he's not, because David Cameron knew that, no, we can't leave Europe. Because economically, this works for us. And if we leave Europe, it could be an economic disaster. And how telling is it that as England left Europe and as they fully, officially left this whole thing, with Brexit, the COVID-19 and coronavirus landed in as well. Because I told you, England were not really being drawn back really by Europe. And this is what homegirl Sturgeon has been saying from Scotland is that, wait a minute, Scotland voted 70% in favor to stay within Europe. 70%. But because they're part of freaking England and the freaking United Kingdom, they now have to suffer from a bunch of freaking morons in England who still believe in this myth of Great Britain. Which is why Scotland are like, no, we want a freaking referendum and we want to be bloody independent because it's crap. And I always say but those Scottish people that voted to still remain in the UK, you guys are freaking morons, man. You're free. I told you, when I look at a Scottish person, I don't see a Brit. So when I think British, I think English. I don't think Scottish. A Scottish person is a Scottish person. They're not British. They're Scottish. And a country with such a rich history, a unique history, how these guys don't freaking have like their own independence is madness. So my thing is this, man. It's like, look, Boris, man, England just have a moron, man. England just have a moron. So whenever the guy speaks, I'm like, look, just tell me what's happening here because I don't view him as a leader. I don't view him as a leader. I just view him as a complete brick moron that can't come with his freaking hair. But the key thing is this, is that, especially if you're a teacher or so forth, don't send your kids to school, man. Because you're dealing with a guy who does not know what the hell he's talking about. And I think for a lot of teachers, because my things are why? So you're forcing kids to school? You're forcing teachers to school? Teachers just say, no, we're not going. The teachers union just be like, no, you can't. First of all, you can't force us to go into a hostile environment. Sorry, you can't do that. So it's going to be interesting, man. Like, subscribe. I'll be back.